RPGs have been a big part of my video game journey for a long time. I played many RPGs, a couple strategy RPGs every now and then, but especially action RPGs and turn-based RPGs. And one that's been in the talks especially recently is Clair Obscur Expedition 33, the next turn-based RPG. Some of my favorites happen to range from Persona to Pokemon to even last year's Metaphor Fantasio, and Clair Obscur Expedition 33 had me intrigued ever since I saw the initial reveal trailer, cause damn, these visuals be stunning. And this was made by a team of 30? Holy shit! It's practically an indie game at this point. How did a team of 30 cook this up? For those unaware and somehow living under a rock for the past couple of months, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is Sandfall Interactive's very first title, which is especially impressive considering the team of 30 people mostly being junior developers who had no prior experience, with the director being bored of his job at Ubisoft, leading him to create this game, and the lead writer being found on Reddit. Plus, the game is beloved by many already, some even considering it one of the greatest games of all time. It sold so much faster than other JRPGs on Steam, which is an insane accomplishment, with it even achieving 2 million copies sold, not counting Game Pass, within 12 days. Today I'm gonna talk about some of my thoughts on the game, so without further ado, let's begin the expedition. The game's story starts out with Gustav as he's getting ready to see Sophie, his ex, who he clearly still has feelings for. He meets up with her and they explore a bit of the city they call home, called Lumia, before heading to the harbor, which, by the way, do be sure to take your time and explore, or else you may miss out on some neat goodies that are especially important later on. So basically, this mysterious being called the Paintress wakes up once a year to paint a number on her mural, and anyone of that age just gets blipped, or in the case of Expedition 33 lore, gommaged. Yeah, I'ma stick with blipped if that's okay with everybody. And every year, a different group of expeditioners go set out on a journey to take down the Paintress so she never paints again. And this group is Expedition 33, hence the name of the game. But yeah, the story is phenomenal. It's full of twists and turns. I think out of any RPG in general, this game might have the most mature and adult story ever, focusing on loss, death, grief, and love. It's not every day we hear a main character say "fuck" in an RPG, besides Final Fantasy 16 and Persona.
Oh, fuck the mission! Fuck the mission!
It's got its funny moments as well as serious moments with our main cast, as well as other characters throughout as they journey through this beautiful world full of unique areas and characters, and also death. And I think the length for this game is honestly perfect, especially the main story. It took me around 30 hours to beat the main story, and it'll take at least an additional 20 to 30 hours just to platinum it. The gameplay is really good as well. You can explore areas, whether it be climbing, grappling, being immersed in the views and visuals of the area, which would make a photo mode come in handy, as well as picking up many types of items, including chroma, which is the currency of this game, which allows you to buy stuff from merchants, which you can also fight for some reason, because they like to fight. The only gripe I have with exploring areas is that there isn't a map for said area you're exploring, but I do understand that this is an RPG inspired by classic RPGs that didn't have area maps back then. And did I mention there's no photo mode? But the real fun begins with the turn-based combat. It's a lot of fun. You have an aim option to shoot, you can attack, use skills, use items, etc. When you use your skills, you have to press a button at the right time when a button shows up to deal damage. When an enemy attacks, you can dodge or parry, in which the latter allows you to use a counterattack if you parry every attack the enemy throws at you. Some enemies either have a weakness or gimmick that you can shoot to exploit to deal massive damage. But the most fun part with each party member is the gimmicks, because every party member in the game has their own gimmick. Gustav can hold up to 10 charges before using a certain skill to use up all that built up power to demolish the enemy. Mayo has multiple stances, from offensive to defensive to virtuous, each with their own advantages. Monoko uses the feat of Nevron to become said Nevron and use an attack from same said Nevron, and more. Yes, he has a feat collection. You can also upgrade your skill tree with skills you gain from leveling up and equip Pictos, which are basically little items that give your characters a nice little boost. They can help with boosting damage or heal, while pairing and more. Once you fight 4 battles with Pictos, you'll be able to equip them as Lumina to every party member, and later on, you'll be able to equip more and more Lumina and boost your characters further, making them more powerful than ever. Before you can even equip certain Lumina to make certain characters completely overpowered to the point of being able to deal this much damage.
Now that's a lot of damage!
I talked about exploring areas, but I never once mentioned exploring the overworld, cause yes, it's got an overworld like the classic RPGs from back in the day. Once you leave an area, you can explore the overworld in a giant space of the world. And when you unlock Eskie, you'll be able to ride him to move around a little faster, and as you continue the main story, you'll unlock more abilities to use with him to explore the overworld further. You can also dismount him so that you can... Wait, where'd everyone go? You can also dismount him so that you can go on without having to mount him. There are also some neat goodies you can find if you explore thoroughly, so get expeditioning. And there are many optional areas you don't need to get through the main story, but if you want to, I won't stop you. With areas such as gestural beaches, each one having its own sort of minigame to beat, including a platformer one that's basically Crash Bandicoot mixed with Getting Over It in a way, and little bite-sized areas to explore as well. And those are just some of the side content you can do throughout the game, but again, your choice. Also, there are enemies in the overworld as well, and even tougher bosses you can fight later on in the overworld, which is nice. You can also upgrade weapons using certain items. I do also like these little side quests you can find with the right Nevron. They for some reason won't attack you, and you can do a little bit of a quest for them, like looking for an item or helping them out by pairing stuff and more. And also the camp. I should mention that you can set up camp in the overworld, in which you have a little space to play any records you find of the game's soundtrack, which is one of the many collectibles, talk to one of the characters that's at the camp, including the curator, who will help you upgrade your weapons and add more Lumina points to your party members, and do check in with your party members later on every now and then. I'm not gonna explain why, but I'd highly recommend that. And of course, the voice acting. The voice acting in this game is phenomenal. The actors from this game do phenomenal work with actors like Charlie Cox, Jennifer English, Andy Serkis, Ben Starr, and more involved. Their performances are just outstanding, and honestly, everyone killed it. Everyone in this game is so good at their roles, they're amazing. Oh, and did I mention the music? It is so freaking beautiful. I love it. It reminds me of a lot of Nier's soundtracks, but French. There are plenty of bangers throughout this game, some of which are goofy and a lot serious, but this soundtrack is genuinely fantastic. Apparently they found the composer on SoundCloud, which is just crazy to me. Take a look at this glorious tune from the game. I should also mention that I recently platinumed the game on PS5, and let me tell you, this platinum is not easy. Aside from the main story, there are a couple grinding, quests, collectibles, secret bosses, and more trophies, with one of those collectibles, the journals, requiring an old key from the prologue, which you can't go back to once you're past that point. And since New Game Plus resets your journal progress, it could easily make players not want to platinum if they have to go through the game all over again just to collect every journal entry. And yes, this includes feat. I 100% in Monoko's feat collection. There's a trophy for a f***ing mime you can miss in the prologue, but no worries about that one. That'll just take a couple minutes to start a new save for, and don't worry, it won't erase your current one. They'll both be saved as separate saves. Overall, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is really amazing. The story is phenomenal, visuals are stunning, gameplay is unique and engaging with the turn-based formula with a drawing inspiration from classic RPG titles such as Final Fantasy, Super Mario RPG, Persona, and more, and blending it into its own system, a true love letter to RPGs throughout. The game itself is well polished with very few bugs at launch. This game might not only be my personal game of the year of 2025 so far, but it's also, in my opinion, one of the greatest RPGs of this modern era of RPGs that I have played so far. Sandfall Interactive have cooked with this game, and I'd highly recommend anyone who's interested in it to give it a try, especially if you're someone who loves RPGs in general. And I love a lot of RPGs, but Expedition 33 is truly something special to me. Tomorrow comes. Also, with GTA 6 being delayed to next year, this game has a real shot at winning Game of the Year at the Game Awards now.